What's up, guys? Today we're talking 3 powerful habits that prevent running injuries, so stay tuned. So the first powerful habit we're going to talk about is the warm-up. Now, like most runners, I'm guilty myself of just rushing out the door, tying my shoes, and just slogging through. And then as soon as I finish, I get right back into whatever it is that I'm doing. And what happens when I do that is I miss this opportunity to better physically prepare myself for a better run, to prevent injuries, and to even get a little bit stronger. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is this. You could do this before you go out the door, or you could do this at about 5 minutes into your run. You're actually gonna stop and just do some movement that's gonna open up your hips just for better running stride and more efficient, economical running. So I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna post up in this left leg. I'm very tall and connected, and I'm just gonna start with some leg swings, just here. It doesn't matter how big the swing is. I'm gonna try to make it a little bit bigger as I go, a little bit bigger as I go. Finally, I'm gonna kick up, swing back into a little lunge, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go down here, extending this back leg in this long lunge hip circle position. It literally takes me 30 seconds to go back and forth, and when I'm here, I can really open up my hips. Extending this hip is so important for better hip extension, more fluid, bigger running stride when we start to run faster. I can get deep into this hip and this hamstring, into this ankle. So I go ahead and do a couple leg swings on one side and hip circles, and leg swings and hip circles on the other side. I've just scratched the surface on some warm-ups I can do, but that will instantly make my running that much better. So the second powerful habit that I want to talk about is actually running with a purpose. Every time I go out the door, I want to do so with just a little bit of intention. Now, this could be in the guise of following a running plan where I have a day that specifically asks me to run a little bit faster, to do some tempo work, some hill interval work, or some longer extended tempo work on the roads. It could also be a day that I'm working on specific technique exercises and drills. I'm adding a little bit of run technique in there, or it could be some other variety of things that you want to focus on. But just by bringing a little attention to it, it just draws some awareness to what we're actually doing out on the road, which makes a whole lot of positive good in the long run. So one idea, and one of my personal favorites, is actually to focus on my breathing. And this is such a good primer if I'm getting ready to run a set of faster intervals, or if I'm just trying to stay connected and smooth through a longer, easier run. Say I'm getting ready for a longer race. And what I'm actually gonna focus on is breathing intervals through my nose. And we're gonna start real easy. You're gonna warm up, you're gonna do your run, and about every 5 to 10 minutes, for 1 minute, you're actually gonna just breathe only through your nose. And really what that's gonna force you to do is breathe through that belly a little bit. This forces the conversation with your diaphragm. So many of us as runners, we get stuck up here. We breathe through our chest, our shoulders get stiff, our arm swing goes away, our ability to rotate goes away, our cadence goes away, everything sort of falls apart. So just by you breathing deeper into that belly and that diaphragm, it relaxes your shoulders, you're a little bit more fluid as you run, your hips are in a better, more stable position, and all of a sudden your feet can start to cycle a little bit faster underneath you. So that's our tip for this one, run with a little purpose. Nose breathing is a great one to add just for that. So our third powerful habit for better running is actually going to be taking 10 minutes a day to what I call looking under the hood. And what I mean is that as runners, as we start to push our body a little bit harder, things inevitably start to wear a little bit. And eventually, if we let that go long enough, things eventually begin to break and they begin to snap. And all of a sudden, that hamstring pull that seemingly came out of nowhere bites me in the butt, or my Achilles or my calf bites me in the butt. But here's the thing, and this is a running truth you need to hear. Running injuries do not come out of nowhere, unless of course you've been hit by a taxi cab or something else. They brew underneath the surface for extended periods of time, and all of a sudden they pop above the surface and into our awareness in the form of that more violent strain. But if I can take 10 minutes a day to look under the hood before those injuries accrue, I actually get a good baseline of what's happening in my body, and I can actually start to counteract against those issues and treat myself a little better. So one idea for this one is actually at the end of the day, I want you to take some time after your run or just while you're hanging out watching a little TV, and I want you to spend some time in the bottom of the squat position. From a mobility and range of motion standpoint, I'm asking a lot more range of my hips, my ankles, my knees than I normally do when I'm running, than I normally do throughout my day-to-day. So it opens up my hips, it opens up my ankles, stretches out my calves, all these crucial things that I need to run really well. And I can notice that if I'm particularly stiff one day, maybe I need to spend a little bit more time. And if I notice that if I'm having trouble sitting in the squat and my feet start to turn out, you know what, maybe my ankles are a little stiffer than I thought of. And now I need to spend a little extra time on a foam roller to foam roll those calves and get those going. So that's our final tip for that one. 10 minutes a day. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you like this video. Go ahead and hit that like button down below. You have any comments or questions or any video requests, hit me up in the comments. I will write back to you. Make sure, of course, you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got so much great content coming your way, and we want you to be the first to get it. And if you want a little bit more free training, especially around how to prevent injuries, specifically, we've got a great thing on how to really use a foam roller the right way and how to early detect injuries. Go ahead and click this button. If you're on a mobile device, you're gonna go ahead and see that link down below. It's gonna be the exact same link. Click that, it's gonna take you to a page. All you need to do is enter your email address, and I'm gonna personally send you that free training of those videos right there. Once again, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next video. If you like this video,